I don't know if we are getting Europe or not, but I'm happy that a lot of our supporters, our players are believing in it and are thinking it's possible. We can do it. I hope we arrive there. It's going to be tough. It's good also to have these expectations, even if we can not meet them at the end. At the end, we have to enjoy sport, and if you don't allow yourself to dream a little bit, no, it becomes boring.
Today, story of leadership, creativity, alchemy, taking a tiny club from the south of England with the smallest stadium in the league to the cusp of European qualification. A club this size, achieving that, it almost feels impossible. It defies economics, defies consensus wisdom. In came American owner Bill Foley, boasted his team was going to go to Europe. Every pundit laughed, said there was a ceiling that Bournemouth could never crack, but this gent has put together a season that shows conventional thinking may be wrong. It's not easy, it's not straight line, but this is really about audacity and change. It's a pleasure to speak to the gent himself, former Manhattan resident, Bournemouth manager, Mr. Andoni Iraola.
Hello, Rog. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Thank you for being with us. Last time you were on, you gave a masterclass in how an elite manager thinks about tactics in the game. To be with you in person is a joy. First things first, how would you describe Bournemouth, the town, to someone who's never been here before?
I think it's a lovely place. I think it's a place that probably life goes more slow. You enjoy it more. You have your time to. Sometimes when you live in a big city, everything happens too quick and you don't really have your time to enjoy it. And it's a coastal town. I love the beach. I love to be, even if I don't go to actually the beach, to just have a walk around the sea. And I think I am enjoying it here.
The Vitality Stadium's tiny, but the ambition of American owner Bill Foley is enormous. He bought Bournemouth, they were 3 points above the relegation zone. He announced the Cherries would soon be playing in Europe. Did he talk to you about that when you were interviewing? Because football's about economics. What did you think about that possibility?
Yeah, managers, we have to be quite practical. When they start talking to us about 3, 4, 5 years plans and this, okay, we pay attention, but at the end you are thinking, okay, I have to survive first month, I have to survive second month, I have to create a team, build something, and it's true that everything is going in the right way. I think it's 2 seasons where the team is growing. We want to continue in the same way, no? Also, we have to respect the competition because we are playing in probably the toughest competition in the world, and we don't have to take anything for granted because I think it would be a big mistake.
Bill told me that his sports approach is grounded in his time in the US military. His motto, always attack, never give up, never give in. It's all over this new training ground. Can you talk about how that meshes with your own football tactical philosophy?
Bill has been ambitious since the beginning, no? And he wants also, in our way of playing, no? To be aggressive, to take our risks, to be proactive on the ball, without the ball. And it was one of the main reasons that I came here, that they also came to offer me the job because they wanted me to play the way, no? We were doing things especially in Spain with Mirandés, with Rayo Vallecano, and I'm comfortable. I see we have the players who can adapt to this way of playing, and now we have to keep it going and even improving, no, in the way.
Before this season, Bournemouth's highest ever points tally was 48 last season. You know, football correlates with economics. Teams normally do what their wage salaries tell them they can do. Your wage salary for the year is 17th in the league. And we know 90% of the time, league placings almost are identical to that. Before this season, you just lost 21 goal scorer Dominic Solanke. What did you honestly think was possible at the beginning of this campaign?
Obviously, you don't want to lose Dom, no, because Dom is a great player. He scored a lot of goals, but I also trust a lot the people around the club. I think there is a big gap of scouting department, of obviously Simon, Thiago, the ones that are commanding everything, that are doing their job during the season. Probably we don't appreciate during the previous season what they are doing, but in the summer is when they come with the names, all the profiles. We are ready just in case this happens. We are ready just in case this other thing happens. And it's difficult at the end to make it work, but there was a plan behind, no? And we lost Dom Solanke, we lost even Lloyd Kelly, and I felt like, oh, they were already preparing not last week or no, for months for these eventual things.
But what did you think was possible as a goal for the season?
I wanted to improve what we did the past season, getting closer to the teams that I think are still better than us, that always finish in the 8th, 9th, first positions, because most of the times they are always the same team. So basically reduce the gap with those teams, try to sometimes get the result against these top teams, get closer to them, and I think we've get closer, yeah.
This system you've designed, the high-pressed, high-octane, blisteringly fast, suffocating pressure, Tyler Adams calls it organised chaos. How would you describe your style of play in your own words?
I'm more proud of the organised than the chaos, probably, because you need to have a lot of things under control as a manager. Sometimes it's impossible, and then you have to trust the players, but it's true that we are better or we are more efficient when there are more spaces available and everything happens more quickly and we can find better positions, especially for our forwards.
You've talked a lot about how the players on the pitch are the real protagonists, they're the real heroes of the story, and you say you coaches are just there to assist, to facilitate. Free expression has really been coached out of football. It's almost like a competitive advantage to see a team play freely. When you're watching on the sidelines, Andoni, how much control do you feel and how much are the players just improvising?
The most important part are the players. We need individual performances, we need understanding of the game, we need good decisions. I think our job is to guide them, to assist them, to give them information about the opposition, more options available, but at the end it's the player, the ones who make the difference.
Yeah, but when you're coaching on the sideline, do you feel like you're just a spectator watching their decision making, or are you like an NFL coach, like the puppet master, like Belichick, Basque Belichick?
No, I think I wouldn't say all the movements. I think a lot of the things are already planned, and we have to follow a system. There is a structure. There is on the ball, out of possession. Situations that everyone has to follow. This is a collective sport, and like probably NFL, we don't have the stops to correct. It's not one play and then you have another 30, 40 seconds timeouts and then you can correct and you can prepare for the next one. In football, everything happens very quickly, and that's why it's not as controlled as other sports, and we have to trust the players more, I think.
Yeah, but you trust your players more than other coaches, would you say? I mean, Bournemouth, that freedom, especially in attack, it is almost like a competitive advantage.
Yeah, I think you have to be ready offensively to disorganize your team a little bit. Be ready to be in uncomfortable positions. Sometimes we know when we push the fullbacks very high, okay, then we will have a problem at the back if Milos doesn't recover or doesn't make so we have to prepare for this also, maybe the midfielder has to be worried about this, then the other winger has to close inside so we can recover for these things. But if you never push Milos forward and you don't allow him to lose a little bit his position, it's going to be difficult to create some instability to the opposition. So I prefer to take those risks and then be ready also to defend in a different way, because it's the way to break sometimes the opposition teams.
Can we talk about Tyler Adams, that one-man wrecking ball? That gentleman runs in one game, I think more than I've run in my lifetime. He loves a tackle. We've seen him flatten Luis Diaz, Anthony Gordon. He did my beautiful Beto like a linebacker. Can you describe what you need him to do in your system and how high his ceiling can be?
Yeah, Tyler has been a massive improvement for us. I think he's someone who, I always say, he eats the space very quickly. In 1-2 seconds, he's already on the ball, and you think, he's not going to arrive. This one, he's late, boom, and he arrives, and he eats very quickly the space, and this is something very good, especially to arrive with the right timing for the tackle, to anticipate for the ball, to read the situations. Obviously, he has an understanding of the game, of the second balls, of where his teammates are, so he can correct a little bit from behind. The holding midfielder at the end has a lot of players forward. He has to manage not only his position, just the ones that are in front of him, has to be very vocal. He has this leadership, has been a captain, even still being young, already has played in other European leagues, Champions League. I think he's a huge player for us.
How high is his ceiling?
I think he still has room to improve. That is a very good thing. When they tell you, no, you have room for improvement, sounds bad, but it's the best thing they can tell you, because you are already good, but you still have more place to grow. And once he has been available, he has solved his injury issues, he has been very solid for us, And the more time he can keep those injuries away, I think it's a matter of time. He continues growing and becoming better.
Let's talk about this season. It's been incredible to watch. It did begin with turbulence. I think one win in the first 5 games, and that one win came against Everton, 3 goals. That still hurts for me, Andoni. I'm an Everton fan. If you were to put the secret of what we've seen, because this season has seen Pep Guardiola say, today the modern football is the way that Bournemouth play. How do you articulate the success? If you were to use 3 words, what would you say has been the secret of Bournemouth's season?
In 3 words is very difficult. I will need more, I think, than 3. I think the confidence is a team that is very confident. I think even being young, I think is also a brave team. We are brave, we are confident, and then we are honest. We are honest in the way that we need to work very hard to get results. Some big clubs can play at 80% of their level and they still get results. I think we need more than this. We are not good enough to win games 80%. So we need to play very close to our best level to get results. And this is something that I try to make the players have insight, and we have to remember it every training session, every game, because we need the best from each one.
Bill Foley's goal, Europe, it's still up in the air. It is possible. We're in the business end of the season. What does this team need to do to sustain the dream and make it a reality?
We've been very good this season. We are still there. We are not so far. I think we've missed a big opportunity to position ourselves already in those positions and to arrive to the decisive part of the season in command, let's say. But we are not going to give up. And looking more forward is not, we want to make it not just like one season thing. There is still this gap between the 8-9 clubs that basically every year they finish in the top 10. But I think this season has been also nice to see Forest doing very well, Fulham doing very well, as even Brentford, teams that probably people don't consider to be there in the top half of the standings and doing their job, and I think it's good also for the competition.
After the Newcastle win, the travelling Bournemouth fans sang, "Is this the way to Barcelona? Bayern Munich, Lazio, Roma, the Bournemouth boys are taking over." And you made the players go and listen and take it in. I've spoken to so many of the fans there. They've said that this team has changed the way they think about their own lives. You're transcending football. Are you aware of that? And how do you make sure that it's not just a one-off, Andoni?
I think that's our goal, to make these performances consistent on time. Is what the big teams do, and it's gonna take a hard work, but we are all for it. I think I don't know if we are getting Europe or not, but I'm happy that a lot of our supporters, our players are believing in it and are thinking it's possible. We can do it. I hope we arrive there. It's going to be tough. It's good also to have these expectations, even if we can not meet them at the end. At the end, we have to enjoy sport, and if you don't allow yourself to dream a little bit, it becomes boring.
So you talk about dreams, and one thing I do love about you, you've read the entire oeuvre of Haruki Murakami, the surrealist Japanese novelist whose books are littered with lines that kind of reach out and just tase your heart. There's a quote of his, "I dream. Sometimes I think that's the only right thing to do," which really is the Bournemouth story. Are you aware? Everyone's like tiny, tiny Bournemouth. The fans laugh at it, rubbish, rubbish Bournemouth. To have lifted them up, are you aware of the power of this dream that you're creating and working on? It's almost surreal.
Yeah, I think sometimes they say, like tiny Bournemouth, and they say it in a despective way, and I feel like I'm not upset because of this. I think we have to be proud. This is the history we have. We are very proud. We are growing. You can see this building where we are right now, these facilities. The club is in a good moment, and we don't have the history, we don't have the stadium of other clubs. We know that still there are bigger clubs than us, but it doesn't make us worse. No, I think we still can be competitive. Is what we are trying to do.
So what do you get from the Murakami novels, by the way? What's the greatest lesson you
Murakami is, he has, I would say, like two kinds of novels. There are like more realistic novels. Everything happens in Japan. That is a place that I love. I've been traveling there and I love their mentality. And there are the other type that they even like more dreaming, like histories that are not completely real, happens in your imagination. Sometimes you don't understand very well everything that is happening in the book, but I really enjoy it, yes.
To you, to your club, to the future, to more dreams. I go.
I hope so. Thank you. A pleasure, Roger.
Courage.